Hi, welcome to my show. Today, my guest is Dr. Kuldeep Verma. And Dr. Verma is a biochemist who discovered a new phenomenon in women, and every woman really needs to listen to this carefully. He has some very valuable information. Dr. Verma, welcome to my show.
Thank you.
So, as I had discussed, you have some amazing information for women,
Sure.
and that is because every woman, well, not every woman, but most women, especially those involved in a marriage or with a partner who want to conceive, one of the issues that you say the first thing comes up is that what's the gender? Do you know the gender of the baby? That's an important issue for everybody. And why is it, by the way, an important issue? You had an interesting concept to that.
Yeah, it's curiosity to find out the gender of the baby, and we developed this to find it on day one. If you do the pregnancy test today, we can tell you the gender today. This is the earliest gender test in the world.
Well, and this is something you developed, and you started actually this research in 1982, correct?
Yes.
So can you please just tell us a little bit about your background, because it's incredibly fascinating. You're a
Sure.
very accomplished biochemist. So this is just not something that you started working on yesterday. I mean, this is over 35 years ago.
Right.
Yes.
In 1982, I was approached by two hospitals to develop something by testing urine because there was big demand, and I was famous in that area because I had just got President Award in 1976. So, that was a good idea, so I started working on it. They gave me urine sample from women who were to deliver next day. That way, there was a comparison of the results very quick. So, it took me 2 years to develop a post-conception test to find the gender with 91% accuracy, and we had a clinic there. And then
Can you explain where they're, where exactly?
in Ludhiana, Punjab.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
had a
in
clinic.
India.
Yeah. Under the same name, Biologics. So on the side also, I had a very crazy notion that just like there are two kinds of sperms, women also must have something to kind of. Nature never plays one-sided game. So in 2006, it took me so many years. In 2006 was the first time when I saw that yes, there is difference between two menstrual cycles, and very quickly I realized that every woman have alternating boy girl specific cycles. So if they conceive in boy cycle, they were getting boys. Right now it is 94% success rate. Means if 100 couples come to us to get a boy, for example, and if all of them conceive in boy cycle, 94 of them are getting boys. We are so confident now that we ask couples to name the baby in advance. So now how does it work? It's very important to learn. Everything is done by testing urine. So because there are two kind of cycles, we need two mid-cycle urine samples. Let me give an example. Suppose someone is trying to get a boy, and suppose he gives me sample in November and December this year, and suppose November shows a boy cycle, December will be a girl cycle because all women are alternating. We tell them to conceive in January because automatically that will be a boy cycle again. So if they conceive, they get the boys. If there is no pregnancy, then they have to skip February and then try in March, like that.
Well, and we have a little video, a short 1-minute video that kind of explains this in a nutshell. But before I show the video, I just kind of want to share with the audience to see how much work you've kind of put in your lifetime. So you were an assistant biochemist and doctoral student at Punjab Agricultural University in India, and that was from 1982 to 1987. And then from 87 to 96, you were a research associate at the North Carolina State University in molecular biology. And then you worked for 20 years at Detroit Wastewater Treatment Plant in Detroit. And Biologics is the company that you founded in 1982, and you're president of it. So this is many years of research and work, and so this is why this information is very valuable. It wasn't just it didn't just happen yesterday. So I'm going to share a little video so that our audience can better understand. Okay.
Are you trying to conceive a baby boy or girl? At Biologics LLC, we have been studying women and their role in formation of a baby's gender. Until now, couples played a game of chance and ended up getting multiple babies of the same gender. Desperate couples tried artificial means and have failed. Our 30 years of dedication led us to discover some amazing facts about women, based on which we launched our pre-gender preconception test. All tests require urine samples, which can be mailed for most countries without having to travel. We test 2 mid-cycle urine samples before pregnancy to see which cycle is good for you. If you conceive in the proper cycle advised by us, you have a 90% chance to get your baby boy or girl. We are so confident of our success that we will refund you double if you do not get the planned boy or girl using this program. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will be happy to answer any of your questions. So call Biologics LLC today.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And I know that you emphasize the fact that this is done naturally.
Mhm.
In comparison to what are the other things that are going on out there that are not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there are IVF and IUI techniques available, but they're very costly, and unfortunately, they magnify their success rate. They're not. If you search their success rate of IVF at Google, the very first graph from their own union that shows 37%. They never tell the customer. That's wrong. So we are at 94%. We are 3 times better than IVF. So people should be very clear where to put their money.
Yeah.
And we don't even see, because some customers from Australia, UK, they send me, I never meet them, just talk on the phone, and still they're very successful.
And you said you have, so this is, you have how many patents?
We
for
have
this?
5 patents.
You have 5
and
patents.
those patents explain the science behind it. Anyone having little scientific background will know how much work has been done. Just to give a background, there are 6 hormones involved. 3 are behaving like a male hormone and 3 are behaving like a female hormone. Their mutual ratio changes in every cycle. In one cycle, there are 3 male hormones or more. So that will help in conceiving a boy, because sperms can recognize their environment and know where to go. So if the male hormones are more, Y sperm will be activated, and then it goes forward to fertilize.
I'm going to show some graphs that you shared with me. Maybe this would also help a little bit if you can
Sure.
explain the different phases and how that affects.
Yes, this is a simple graph. In normal population, couples having 1 boy, 1 girl, or whatever. First cycle, I'm just giving example, is a boy phase. Next one will be a girl phase. The difference is TE ratio in the corner. I have the testosterone to estrogen ratio. If testosterone is more, that's a boy cycle. And the second will be girl, and third will be boy again, because every woman is alternating. So suppose if there is a conception in the 3rd cycle, that cycle will be logged for 9 months. This is a very important phenomenon. Just like you stop menstruating after pregnancy, you stop alternating also. There is no girl cycle for 9 months then. And because of that reason, we can find the gender of the baby on day 1. If you do the pregnancy test today, we can find it. And then in other families where they have more girls or boys, in the couples where they have more girls, there is more estrogen, so whole graph is shifted downwards.
So the women, this says women with more girls have slightly more estrogens than testosterone, and that's what, and vice versa for boys, it's the other way around.
Yes.
Okay.
So if the estrogen is more, the X sperm get activated faster, and they conceive. So they conceive very quickly in a girl cycle. So if they go on their own, they have girls. So the only way they can get a boy is through pre-gender test, because we'll tell them to avoid pregnancy in the girl cycle and try in boy cycle. There is no other way. There are a lot of information on the internet. Buy this kit, eat this. No,
it's
please,
not.
Yeah.
And this is from research. I mean,
Yeah,
these are decades of
original data.
research that
Yeah.
you have done. Okay.
Yes.
And then so this is the boy cycle.
Yeah, if couples having more boys, the whole setup is pushed upwards toward more testosterone in the body, so they easily get conceived in boy cycle. So the only system which can tell them to avoid in boy cycle and try in girl cycle is ours. People might have known that there are families with 14 boys and 15 girls because they thought they will get opposite gender. If they go on their own, there is a chance that they will get multiple babies of the same gender.
Okay. And so I know, we had talked about this earlier about, how can this, well, first of all, is this the same for all women?
Yes.
The process is the same
for all women.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the other question I had for you is, are you able to test for the gender early in the pregnancy if a woman has already conceived?
Yes. Let me give a very striking example.
Okay.
One case from Toronto, they wanted a boy. About 2 years ago, they sent me January, February, and I told them that January is a girl cycle, and February is a boy cycle. You can try even now. He started laughing that, sir, today is the 20th day of the cycle. There is no way. I said, forget about that. All this information is not useful. Just follow my instructions because egg might be waiting. So they tried on 23rd day. There was a pregnancy. That was amazing. And the pregnancy was detected on 26th day. And I told them to collect sample on 27, 28, like that for 3 nights and ship it. But instead of shipping, they just came to my clinic, and there was a boy.
So, you had also shared with me several stories, success stories of people, including, I think, somebody from Germany that you had shared where they wanted a certain sex, and then, can you share some of those stories that you shared with me?
For a family, about 50 couples from a family, they have gone through this test, and they are very happy. So one sister-in-law of a couple, he said, you have to, there was pregnancy. They didn't follow our plan, but there was pregnancy. So he flew, spent 1,700 euros he flew to here, and they stayed in a hotel and tested it. And then I told them it's a boy. That was day like 6 only after pregnancy, and that boy was delivered. They are so happy.
Wow. So, what would you say for people who find this maybe ethically, it's not ethical to pick the sex of the child early on? Do you have any advice or something? And, and I know I had also shared this with you. I know most women I know who wanted to conceive a child, they did have a desire to have one of each gender. I know, 2 sisters. One had 4 girls. One had 4 boys. Right. And actually, they went up to the 4th child just because they kept trying for that other gender. And it never worked out. And then they just, because the woman is the one that carries the burden of the pregnancy and having, to put her life basically on hold because of that. So, so it's important. I know most women, they do find it important. They do kind of want that balance. But what would you say to that if somebody was kind of, they do have that desire, but they maybe their belief system is holding them back?
Based on those graphs, what I'm saying is that if some couple has, for example, 2 girls, they usually think that God will help. God has already helped. Now, the chances of a 3rd baby to be girl are even higher because you have seen that you are tuned that way. So they must consult us. We will help them. So ethic issues, it's their inherent desire to have balanced family. If you ask any newly wedding couple, what do you want? They will say 1 boy, 1 girl. But there is no method, so they keep on trying on their own. And when they get 2 boys or 3 girls, they then start looking around astrologers and all that. They get so there's no need to go anywhere else. This is the only system which can effectively balance their families.
And also there is, I think, because of what's happening in the world with the overpopulation, there are certain countries that are even putting limits, including like that was from before China, and then you were saying that India, to a certain extent, they're discouraging people from having too large of a family because for just many reasons, economically and not. But sometimes even, not that, even if somebody is just have that desire, there's nothing really wrong in looking into something because God created people that do the research, and just like there's so many things available, so there's nothing really wrong to look into something like that if they so prefer.
A time is coming when couple will have only 1 boy, 1 girl. and they will be happy because economy doesn't allow to have more kids. So they will be living very happily, and the communities will be very happy. There will be no domestic violence. There is no blame game. You did this, you did. So because both have a role. Man gives X and Y sperms that actually determine the gender of the baby, but what happens after that, nobody studied that. We are the first one to see that lady selects the gender. In one cycle, when it's a boy cycle, Y sperm is selected to fertilize. Because 94% success rate made us to think that way. So if the cycle is girl cycle, then girl is X is selected. So the gender selection is done by uterus.
So this is, I mean, again, this does seem like a new phenomenon, but it's not really new. I mean, it's not new for you because you've been working on this for so many years.
Yeah.
But how are you trying to bring it out into the world, and how has the world received it so far?
Right. Because it's such a big phenomenon, it's unbelievable. If you go to your physician, he will just laugh at it. Yes, laughing it is easy, but he should tell us a better program than this. He doesn't know. So it's a moral basic requirement that a couple should have balanced family. So we are there to help. Yeah.
And I know that, does it feel a little bit maybe frustrating to try to educate people about
yes,
this?
It's
a little bit
educational.
frustrating.
It's an educational project, and most of my business is through word of mouth. So.
Yeah, you had told me that there was a lot of people that the families from other countries. How do the families from other countries hear about you guys? Is it just because
internet and word of mouth?
Internet and word of mouth. Yeah, because I know that you haven't really done too much work to market.
Basically, the fact is that I don't want to promote it so much that I cannot handle because I have to spend 4 hours per case. So I don't want a line outside. I cannot handle that at this time.
At this time.
Yeah. So
but eventually, what is your dream for this in the future?
Our program is we have methods to for a process lab where they can collect 1,000 samples and they can do it. That process is ready. On the other hand, we can also make strip, just like pregnancy strip.
Mm-hmm.
A gender strip will help before pregnancy. The couple can know when to try, when to avoid. And the strip will tell you, you are pregnant with a boy, you are pregnant with a girl. This new trend is coming. So
this is what you're working on right now.
Right, but we need investment for that.
I see, because this is obviously it's a bigger it's a bigger project. But as for right now, I know that one of the things that you're trying to do is you said that because a lot of people are being scammed by other methods and doing this. And you're kind of also trying to prevent that. I mean, you're offering a good service, but also trying to prevent the scam.
Right. I will say one sentence. Any company who is promising you a boy or girl without testing anything from you, definitely a scam. I mean, there is a bookseller telling 100% success for buy my book. No, this is wrong. This logic should be there. So someone should test something and then advise them. That's the way.
Yeah, I know that you're right. There are books where they say that if you
eat this and drink
yeah,
that. No.
certain diets, but then also if you also watch your menstrual cycle yourself, like if you try to keep track of how it's done, and then if you do certain dates like this and certain things like that, it's
even those things have drawback because they are focused on ovulation stage only. I would request everyone throw away their ovulation strip. Because ovulation test doesn't tell you anything. It just tells you that your system is getting ready. The pregnancy is the main target, and that will happen only when the egg comes out. There is no test for release of egg. So every woman is different. Mostly 30-40% women ovulate around that time. But some women ovulate late, just like I gave an example. They conceived on 23rd day. So if they depend on ovulation tests, they might take 3-4 years to conceive. Yes.
So, regarding the stories, some of the stories that you shared, what are the biggest fears that people have when trying to work with this?
What happens is when the process is that the lady collects sample for 2 cycles because 2 cycles are involved. She will collect sample in October and then November and ship it to me.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is when they go to the post office, they say, oh, urine cannot go. No, it's legal. If you look at our website, it says exempt human specimen, means any healthy lady can ship urine sample across the world. So nothing to fear about, it's legal. So they can ship by DHL, FedEx or UPS, it's legal. And that's how we get it from Australia, UK, Norway, France, Germany, everywhere. Yeah.
And you've worked with all these countries?
Yeah.
Well, all
Even I have a letter from Canadian Health Minister, written letter, that if this test is being done outside Canada, we cannot do anything. It's allowed. So
what do you mean?
I mean, some countries have banned those tests, but if the customer sends the sample outside from that country, it's legal.
And so it's considered legal,
Yeah.
obviously in the United States,
Yeah.
so that you guys can perform it.
Right.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think, like, you had mentioned this before, and the fact that, most married couples want a small and balanced family with two children, one of each gender, due to economical and social constraints. So, and given this information, I mean, what, people can go on the website and see further details, because there's your website is very detailed with different stories and different information, and that they can find out more about this. But is there anything else that you want to leave people with so that they can feel like maybe a little bit better informed by the time they even
I want
contact
to
you?
emphasize 2 or 3 things very important we discovered. That this gender selection is genetically controlled. So you cannot play with eating something or drinking something or some positions. No, that don't work. It's genetic. Nature has given you 400 eggs roughly, 200 for boys, 200 for girls. It depends upon your management. So we are there to help you manage that resource.
And all you need for that, to check that, is just the urine test.
Yes, just the urine test. You don't have to come to our lab.
It kind of sounds almost too easy,
Yeah,
doesn't it sound?
Yeah, but I have killed myself. Spent whole life in this. Spent whole life in this. It's very hardworking.
Yes, I would imagine, because during this time you were working other jobs.
Yeah,
so even though you've had this company since 1982, but
Yeah.
you've been involved with all these other areas as
Right.
well, and you were very active in, working really important positions as well with the water systems chemist.
Yeah.
So, but obviously this was something that was dear to you. You find it very important.
Yes, this was going on side by side, and I prefer to work on this rather than watching an NBA game or something.
And this is your main focus now.
Yes.
Yes, you don't have a second job or anything like this with it. Well, and so it says that the families. You had just gone over that regarding families with multiple babies and how that comes about and everything like this.
Right.
So I mean, to me, it's a matter of the person checking out your website, and even about looking up your name and seeing your background. They will find that you've been involved in the sciences and as a biochemist, and then they can kind of just get a hold of you, and it's
They can call me anytime. Direct number is there.
Yeah. What is your phone number again, if you want to mention
direct is 1-313-574-7500, and there is a toll-free number also, 1-877 he or she.
I know.
I'm still. Or they can write through website. We have contact information there. Just put your name and question, and we'll answer within 24 hours.
Yes. So I'm really fascinated by this. I keep looking. I have so many notes. All my notes over here about this information is because it does seem like a blessing for fertile couples who want to have.
Exactly.
I know, like I said, I know a lot of couples who wanted at least one of a different sex, and that did not happen. So I wouldn't seem, based on what I saw on your website, that they have that much to lose in investing in this. That's what I'm trying to say. And they can really, when you go and find out, when you go and look at his website, it's very doable, is what I'm trying to say.
I've explained how other websites are fooling women, so please read that carefully and avoid those scams.
Well, I do appreciate you coming on the show and explaining this, and I think that people who invest this much in work like this, it's about service, one and foremost, because I know that you have invested a lot of your own resources into this. Correct?
No, I really want to help couples.
That's right. So given that all the time and everything that you've invested into it, so this has been just, this is out of love and this is out of concern, and you really want to help couples. And you have helped many, many couples over the years, but you are wanting to expand this. That's why I loved having you on my show, because I think that people can benefit from it. All they have to do is just go on your website to learn more, contact you if they have questions, just to inquire. And, well, we only have a few more minutes left. Anything else that you want to add?
That's the only thing I wanted to say, that the man gives both X and Y sperms, but the lady selects one of them depending on the cycle she is in. So if she is a boy cycle, Y is selected. And the whole process is genetically controlled, so don't waste your time going to a physician or taking some injections. No. That will help. That won't help you.
And that might hurt you.
Yeah, that
might hurt you too.
That will hurt your natural potential. These doctors don't know. They inject you billion times more hormone than required. Your body is very powerful at picogram quantities of the hormones. They inject 1,200 milligram a day for 7-8 days. It's all crazy. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and is this also? I thought about these, that some of the times, some of the doctors, what they give certain women, maybe, because I've known over the years, I've read where there's more miscarriages and there's more issues with women conceiving.
Yeah, those are the things. That's a medical issue. That's their chapter. But I'm concerned with natural conception. So this is the perfect way to balance the family. I mean, if there are medical issues like miscarriages or...
No, but I'm saying regarding there's sometimes the stuff that's going in our body, let alone adding on to that. So sometimes that, I don't know, but like you said, this might be a different issue, but natural is always, it seems like a better way to go.
Baby is healthy.
Yeah.
There's no disease for lifetime. Because if you go to IVF clinic, they put so many chemicals. Either you are bad or baby is bad.
And yes, that's exactly what I mean. I mean, it's like all these chemicals that's going inside of us. There's a lot of controversy about that, but I believe that, trying to lean toward the natural way is always better. Yeah. And you say yours is, 100% natural. So there's nothing.
It's beautiful. You can name the baby in advance.
Okay, do you hear that? Okay, so you can name the baby in advance, but go and check out his website and see. And thank you so much, Dr. Verma, for coming and being a guest. And I, we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll get somebody that calls me and can name their baby in advance. Thank you very much. Thank you.